News for Wales at 12 o'clock. This is Jessica Johnson. Calls for the First Minister Vaughan Gething to return a controversial campaign donation and hold an independent investigation will be voted on in the Senedd later. Mr Gething accepted £200,000 from a company whose owner had 2 convictions for environmental offences. Mr Gething says he's done nothing wrong and the money was properly registered and declared. Labour Senedd members will be told to vote against the motions from the Conservatives and Plaid Cymru. Hevin David is the Labour MS for Caerphilly and supported Mr Gething in his leadership election. He told Radio Wales Breakfast that people need to move on.
It's the Conservatives and Plaid Cymru deliberately keeping this running in order to try and somehow get some political advantage out of it, when in fact they're on shaky ground. I think for the good of our politics and for the good of the Senedd, we move on and we work on those cost of living issues and those things I care about too, children in care.
The Met Police Commissioner has described the injury suffered by a female police officer in North East London yesterday as horrifically serious. Sir Mark Rowley says she was not a million miles away from losing her arm when she was brought to hospital after the sword attack. A 14-year-old boy died from his injuries. A 36-year-old suspect remains in hospital due to the injuries sustained during the incident. Azadeh Mashiri reports from Hainault.
Police do not believe this was terror-related. They do not believe it was targeted, but they are trying to understand how this could have happened. They're making urgent checks and have said that so far there is no evidence that the police had any contact with the suspect beforehand.
A 17-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after 3 people were injured in an attack at a school in Sheffield. 2 adults and a child suffered minor injuries following the incident at Burley Academy. Protesters have blocked the entrance to BAE Systems in Glascoed and prevented staff from entering the site. The Workers for a Free Palestine group says it's protesting against military arms being sent to Israel. It's part of wider protests which are also taking place in Glasgow, Lancashire and London. Police say officers are in attendance to facilitate a safe gathering. The company says it respects the right to protest and it complies fully with defence export controls. Firefighters are damping down following a blaze at the Synthite chemical plant in Mould. North Wales Fire and Rescue Service says it expects to be there all day. It's after a fire in the production area of the factory yesterday. Scientists in Aberystwyth are trying to produce a new type of bread that looks and tastes like a white loaf, but is just as nutritious as wholemeal. The project, run by the government research agency Innovate UK, involves adding small quantities of bran, wheat germ, beans and cereals to the flour mix. It's all the idea of Chris Hollister from the flour-making firm Shipton Mill.
We wanted to have a look at how we could increase the nutritional content of normal white flour by keeping and retaining as much as possible, so that people would get more nutrition from their bread that they eat, daily.
And Charlotte Church has been announced to play Glastonbury. She's on the Left Field stage doing the Radical Roundup with Billy Bragg on Friday the 28th of June. Sport now, and at Snooker's World Championship, Wales's Jack Jones is back underway in his quarter-final clash with world number 2 Judd Trump. It's the first to 13 frames. Jones is currently 11-9 up. And in rugby, Wales wing Owen Lane will leave Cardiff at the end of the season to join French second-tier club Valence Romans. The 26-year-old has won 5 Wales caps, and the move means he won't be eligible for selection under the WRU's 25 cap rule. That is the BBC News for Wales. It is 3 minutes past 12.
BBC Radio Wales Travel.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Jules Buckley. Let's go to the north of Mould. Firstly, on the Denbigh Road, the A541 still closed between Blackbrook and the Drevland turnoff following a building fire from yesterday. Southbound M53 slow going. If you're heading from Ellesmere Port toward Little Stanley, junction 9 to 10, there's a breakdown blocking a lane. Back home, just northeast of Cwmaman, the Bryn Mawr Road remains closed off at the scene of a collision. If you're heading toward Llansamlet, northeast of Swansea, heading west off the M4, at 44 Dumpennill Green Road, queuing near to Church Road, that's in the roadworks, and Transport for Wales trains being disrupted between Rumney and Bargoed, replacement buses running, there's a fallen tree blocking the line. Back with more in 25 minutes.
BBC Radio Wales weather.
Hello, I'm Sue Charles. Well, a lot of cloud around today, thick enough for some patchy drizzle, but we'll see some breaks to allow some bright and sunny spells through this afternoon. Light winds, highs between 14 Celsius in Powys and 18 in Wrexham. This evening, though, it will turn increasingly wet and windy from the east, with the risk of some thunder, particularly across South and Mid Wales, some heavy downpours, also hail possible. It will be a mild night, 9 to 11 Celsius, a bit drier in the north, but across Mid and South Wales, there is now a weather warning in place for that heavy rain. That's valid from 8 p.m. tonight till 8 a.m. tomorrow. So tomorrow then, again, the risk of thundery downpours, particularly across South and Mid Wales through the morning. The best chance of any brightness tomorrow further north, but slowly improving through to the day tomorrow and feeling milder too. Temperatures in the high teens. And that's the forecast.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you to Win for a fine show. Good afternoon. Welcome to the phone-in with me, Jason Mohammed. A former counter-terror chief says we need to think about arming all police officers. The comments come after that awful sword attack in London. So do you want forces to have firearms? Some disabled people say they've had problems accessing healthcare and they feel ignored or excluded. What's your experience? And also today we talk bread. Do you make your own? Have an amazing local bakery or a brilliant bread leftovers recipe? Call or WhatsApp 03 700 100 110. Text 81012.
BBC Radio Wales.
We can't help you, that's some bullshit. Y'all don't wanna hire a nigga cause I'm an ex-convict, thinking I'm a stealer, something in the nature. All the hoe who work at night, they think that I'm a raper. Just cause I'm a goddamn ex-con, jobs treat my ass like an out-of-date coupon. Getting me to go back is the game plan. They might as well pin that shit up on the next man. On a mission, I can't do it by myself, though I need a down-ass nigga who let his nuts hang to the flow. Knowing my man Lil James would understand. Hook me up with a nigga from the park named Peter Man. In no time, we banking buku money. Bitch, I tried to get a job, but they were running from me. Another parole visit at noon. Why don't you motherfuckers give my dick some breathing room? My address changed from my visit in the past. The P.O. mad as fuck cause I got better shit than his ass. Nosy as hell, the hunky picks up my jacket.
Hey, what fell out the bitch, man?
A goddamn packet, he headed for the foam in the den. I said, Mr. Parole Officer, say goodbye to oxygen. Now that's the end of that. Man, fuck that shit, I ain't going back.
Me be on paper, you got me fucked up, G. Shooting you hoes out the sky, trying to mark me a parolee.
Yeah, they look for your ass, boy. You ready to go back? Fuck that shit, cause I ain't the one. Now I'm a fugitive again, headed for Jamaica.
What about your girl?
On my tray 8, I'ma take her, cause I don't give a fuck about a female. I strap some bricks to her feet and let her ass sail. I guess I'm supposed to give them slack, they figure. But when I was in, they ain't even know a nigga. Now I'm on the run again, trying to keep my ass out the state pen. And I'ma tell ya, it ain't a simple task. Even laws here in Jamaica on my motherfucking ass. Like medicine to a cold, a basketball to a goal, a flag to a pole, a dick to a pussy hole. The head nigga in charge they wanna get, take me back. Nuh-uh man, that's bullshit. The only way I'm going back is in a box, dead as fuck, with a pocket full of rocks. Open the door, you nigga. Motherfucker, please. So they bust through the bitch like city under siege. They shot, we shot. One of my boys failed, so me and Peter man break like bats out of hell, leaving 19 of the 20 laws dead. To be hit away, we get away with DJ Ready Red. He know we can't go out like that. I'll be good goddamn if I'm going back.
Fuck the slave master and his damn penitentiary. You can forget that shit, there ain't no motherfucking catching three.
You better go back, boy.
Fuck that shit, cause I ain't the one. Summer on the run, I'm in a track meet. I used to be shot, neither to get my ass beat, neither tax with a nice stick. Far as I'm concerned, all you laws can suck dick. Rolling like a motherfucker hitting cess. Preachers, priests, and nuns getting hit in the process. But that ain't bother me a bit. Still rolling through the nickel, shooting up shit. Law still on my ass trailing, but my foot's in the tank. And I'm failing, dazed as hell. I start rolling up some herb, then Then I get an idea, so I pull to the curb. The laws walk up on us with their gats pulled out. Too late, you hoes. AK shots to the mouth. Put my shit in drive, then threw away my gap. No weapon and no witness, so how can I go back?
You hoes in the courthouse won't be crossing 3. You know goddamn well he planted that shit on me.
I ain't going back, motherfucker. You hoes got me fucked up. Y'all think I'm going back to that yacht.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us here on the phone in with me, Jason Mohammed. Hope you are well. So here's my question for you today. Should we arm all police officers in the UK? In a moment, we'll be speaking to the former counter-terror chief who says we need to start thinking about forces having firearms. The comments come after a 14-year-old boy died and 4 others, including 2 Met police officers, were injured in a sword attack in North East London. The Met Commissioner, Sir Mark Rowley, has suggested a female officer came very close to losing her hand. So, do you want to see bobbies on the beat carrying guns? How do we protect the police and the public? Maybe you feel safer when you're travelling in the States, where, of course, the police carry guns. Call or WhatsApp 03700 100 110. You can text 81012 as promised. Former head of the UK National Counter-Terrorism Security Office, Chris Phillips, joins me now. Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon.
Terrible, horrific incident yesterday. How concerned are you about the rising number of violent incidents we're seeing like this on the streets of Great Britain?
Yeah, the incredible thing is that no officers lost their lives yesterday. Unfortunately, of course, this young lad was killed. But yeah, we're seeing a huge rise in knife crime. I think we've had another one in a school today. And I think we're asking police officers to do an impossible job. The officers yesterday responding to that event, excuse me, did brilliantly, incredibly. But there are 2 very seriously injured police officers as a result.
We know that, as you say, 2 police officers suffered quite serious injuries. They had tasers present. So let me ask you this, Chris. Is that enough, given that rising number of violent incidents that we're seeing?
Well, I've always been against arming the police officers. I didn't want to carry a gun in my 30 years, and most of the colleagues that I worked with didn't either. I think we have to understand that not all officers at the moment have got tasers, and they should have, those that are responding to incidents. But actually, tasers are effective if they work, but they don't always work on everyone. And in those circumstances, maybe the need now is that police officers should be carrying as well. And we use this the American version as to why we shouldn't carry guns over here. But of course, in every other city across the world, officers carry guns as per normal.
So what should they be carrying here, in your opinion?
Well, I'd like to see every officer immediately given a taser and allowed to use it. That would be a good start. But I think we are on that road now, and it's all to do with society, and a society that has changed, and people are not afraid of the consequences of their actions anymore. And if we don't change that, then I think we should really seriously think about arming our police.
OK, so what you're saying is guns?
Guns, eventually, maybe. There is a very little choice in this. You know, at the moment, they're walking around with pepper spray, they're walking around with handcuffs, and they're responding to people who don't do as they're told and often are armed with knives. And we have to protect our officers. Our officers do not go to work and expect to be stabbed or shot. Unfortunately, they are, and we need to make sure that they can protect themselves and protect the public.
And protect the public. You know, you've said
Exactly.
police officers. Yes, absolutely. But protecting the public.
Of course, and this man killed yesterday. Let's not take away from that. And maybe if the officers were there with guns, that wouldn't have happened. I don't know. But the key point is that the police officers, we expect them to protect the public, and they should be able to protect themselves as well. And if guns are necessary, then that should be brought in at some stage.
Chris, how do you think my listeners and the public are going to perceive this change?
We all hate it. I mean, I hate the thought of arming our police officers. As I said, I was a police officer. Didn't want guns. The less guns, the better on the streets is my thought process. But unfortunately, if we don't control our kids and we don't control the criminals, and the criminals aren't scared of policing. They aren't scared of being caught. They're walking into shops with guns and knives these days. Action needs to be taken. And if you have to strengthen the police officers' ability to deal with them, then so be it.
Good to talk to you, Chris. Thank you very much indeed. Former head of the UK National Counter-Terrorism Security Office. So, we're asking police to do an impossible job, says Chris. He wants every officer to have a taser as a minimum. And, as you heard live on the radio this afternoon, seriously think about arming police with guns. What do you think? Is this how we protect the public and the police? Are guns the answer? Lines are open. Number to call 03700 100 110. You can send me a message on WhatsApp on that same number, 03700 100 110, and have your say live here on BBC Radio Wales. You can text 8 10 12. And also would love to hear from someone who's served, or perhaps people who've been to countries where cops carry guns. 03700 100 110. Call that number. Big tunes on the way from Gloria Gaynor.
Came up in the hood infested with teenage hustlers, street grinders, paper chasing, scraping pups. I keep it dust up noses and cane on height, so they can one day ride candy paint just like the man. That's either trying not to bite his hand, but they need him to keep from life, but they stand every night praying, but praying so as far as the ceiling. Got me feeling like I'm from all this heart that I'm dealing in all of this liquor, hooing, rubber and goosenecking that I do but don't want to. Got me losing blessings. God said he'll take the next 2 steps till I take the third. I did, but ended up picking Santa spur from under my feet. Lost faith, jumping the street, back to serving rock, dying to the crumb and the heat, and running with G's dedicated to the block with them that left me alone when my greens were up like pot liquor. All I know that I've been down this road before. It ain't the first time, won't be the last. I gotta slow down 'cause I'm living too fast. It's time to admit I need some help. I can't feed myself. I ain't been around who's straight, who real, who fake, and who ain't. You can clock my consistent and endless efforts of upliftment. Trees and branches get dry off when I'm chopping down the path to walk down. Actually don't even know how talk sound. I'm trying to stop the next step that they draw on the sharp ground. Matter of factly, I'm standing alone with no entourage back me. God is my every existent exhalation, exactly. I've been prophecy so profound that labels will like to contract me. I'm one of a kind, they gotta find a satellite to contact me. Let us bow and thank the Almighty God for right now, for the strength to smile through the tribulation and trial, for sparing me when the devil was daring me and scaring me. It's anonymous for preparing me. And to my family, the Dodger family, and y'all family, we all family. And to my health and my home and my son, King's done. My tongue is my gun, revolution's already begun. All I know that I've been down this road before. It ain't the first time, won't be the last. I gotta slow down 'cause I'm living too fast. It's time to admit I need some help. I can't feed myself. I ain't been around who's straight, who real, who fake, and who ain't. It's about who ain't. All I know is charge cards, cars and clothes. Man, it's all for show. And all can go, and when it's gone, you know, running up your soul phone, calling God for who to say that they ain't all for clothes. And if you ball and play, only cause God's your cause. And it don't matter about the lies you told, laws you broke, danger drain, gang and cigars you smoke. He gon' forgive you, that's why. Don't get me wrong, I like air, but God's the goal. He the greatest of all time, and from blind to blind. Can I get an amen? But we got to stop doing dirt. Coming to church with a devil tucked in your purse. Sister Samantha from Atlanta came up finish a proud. Worried about Sister Martha how. Always worried about what Sister Martha round. This your wild or this your right the Martha down. It don't matter, at least Sister Martha now. In Sunday service with a Bible like the furthest side. But God bless her, we here to thank God. And that's just step inside this holy church thanking. I say step inside this holy church thanking. We all God's private and not just Kirk Franklin. All I know that I've been down this road before. It ain't the first time, won't be the last. Gotta slow down 'cause I'm living too fast. It's time to admit I need some help. I can't feed myself. I ain't been around who's straight, who real, who fake, and who ain't. It's about who ain't.
Radio Wales. Great song. Thank you very much indeed for joining us here on the phone in with me, Jason Mohammed, on BBC Radio Wales. Dancing with Tears in My Eyes by Ultravox and Never Can Say Goodbye by Gloria Gaynor are my next two records for you. We are talking about the former Counter-Terror Chief Chris Phillips, who's just told us here on Radio Wales all officers should have tasers as a minimum, but we need to seriously think about arming police with guns as well. So where do you stand on arming the police? Would it make you feel safer? Call or WhatsApp 03 700 100 110. You can text 81012. Kevin on the WhatsApp, we should have armed police. Years ago, Jason, takes too long in getting specialist units on the scene. It's often too late and someone is killed. Let's talk to Spencer McKinney, who's on the line in Cwmbran. Hello, Spencer. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Originally from Georgia, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And all police are armed. Is it something you think we should introduce here?
I don't believe so. When you have a gun, you are more likely to use it. And with that comes more threat to a human life. I also think logistically, from the sheer size of the UK, because everything is quite small here, you wouldn't want the chance of a random gunfire going somewhere, considering how close things are. So no, I don't believe all cops should be armed.
But would you agree that it appears the streets of Great Britain are becoming much more violent?
They are. I might agree with you on that one, but I'm not sure if guns would be the solution. It also depends on what training comes with it. If you just look at America, when you have a device that can stop a situation immediately at the cost of someone's life, they turn to that quite quickly. There was a story recently where an acorn hit a cop's car. He then unloaded his entire clip of bullets into the car where a suspect was sitting in handcuffs. And that's just a situation I feel like should be avoided. Now, I do agree with tasers. I think everyone in the UK should have tasers. I agree with that one, but I don't know if I agree with everyone having guns due to the violence.
So when you were living in the States and growing up, you didn't feel safe?